communications and trying to educate people. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Because it's something that you said that you wanted to do prior to this lifetime, something that was not happening with you and for you and to you in other lifetimes that you were not able to complete for some reason. And so you have the opportunity to begin it again and to do something that for you is important.
The Akashic Records, when I first heard about it many, many years ago, it was not until a few years ago that we had verification beyond what you're saying and what you've written that they really exist. Even though people have had hunches and near-death experiences, knows that there's more than what we're living in now, the remote viewers, for them to be able to do what they're doing, there has to be an Akashic record. There has to, of the past, the present, and the future. What's wild about a part of it, fascinating, but also kind of makes you wonder, is there really free will? Sometimes they're able to go in and they can already tap into a future that we're not even aware of yet, almost like time traveling. And I don't want to confuse what I'm saying, but for the remote viewers to be able to do what they do, there has to be an Akashic record. When I found out that they could do what they could do, aside from what you do, it was 1,000% clear to me that the Akashic records exist, the Book of Life exists, and it settled the matter for me. And that is extremely exciting, but it changes the perspective on how you live in the day-to-day. The things we say, behind the scenes, the words that come out of our mouth, the thoughts that we project onto others. Every thought, word, and deed is recorded. Fascinating. Can we talk about the Dead Sea Scrolls, or is there anything else you want to say about this?
Yeah, there is. I don't agree with some of the remote viewers because unless you can really tell what is happening in the present, and they can be a remote viewer in the present, and that absolutely can happen because there is no such thing as time. I'm not sure that someone can look forward into the future because on the timeline here of Earth, we live a linear existence. 1 and 1 or 2 and 2 or 2 or 4. We don't look at time as a spiral going up. We look at it as linear, like a cross, like a ruler. And for someone to look into the future, something that hasn't happened yet, I believe that it's possible, but I'm not sure that anyone has done it yet. I really can't ratify that, so I would have to say that I'm still out on that question. I know that when I see the future, I don't see it verbatim. My guide gives me information that if I get it correctly from her, I would say I'm almost 100% correct. But she's the one that sees it, so I do know it exists because she's beyond that linear timeline. And that's the big thing. So I would say a linear question I would ask to his linear concept is whether these souls that are doing the remote viewing have a guide or a teacher to help them, especially going into the future. And what is their God-centeredness? To me, I don't do anything without God, so I want to know where God is in their work.
Well,
and I'm not in any way criticizing anyone.
No, I totally understand. It's a whole other subject. It's a great introspective comment you just made. I interviewed Paul Smith, who was one of the first people trained in the remote viewing teams, and Simeon Hine out of Colorado. But anyway, what do you think about the Dead Sea Scrolls? Can you explain what they are to the public and why they're so important?
Yes, I will try. The Dead Sea Scrolls are... we're not being told, but there are over 800 scrolls that were found, but we're not told that. And it was found in the Dead Sea area in Israel. And these Dead Sea Scrolls are found in different caves, and I believe the year is May of 1947, where a little shepherd boy with a goat, the goat got lost in a cave, and the little boy went up and trying to find the goat, and he found these big urns. And he saw what they were and brought one of the scrolls that were in the urns back to his uncle. The uncle was a very, very greedy man and tried to sell them on the market and found that he was able to sell them. I'm skipping over a lot here. And the point is that the Arabs really burned a lot of the Dead Sea Scrolls for the equivalent of firewood. They just burned them. They didn't care. And so a lot of them were burned. However, fortunately, most of them were saved. And they wound up in the hands of people who didn't look at them as the holy objects that they are, with the tremendous amount of information that they held. They looked at them as money. And these were basically Arabs, and it got into the hands, finally, of those who were able to put them aside. Now, they're split up now. Some of them are in the scroll of the Shrine of the Book, which is located in Hebrew University in Jerusalem. Some are in the Jordanian Museum in Jordan. And there's some, I understand, in a museum in Russia. And the ones that I know of that are, there's some also in the Vatican, the secret archives of the Vatican in Italy. The ones that we have the most of, to my knowledge, are in Israel. And there is, under the Shrine of the Book and under the Temple Mount, a huge storage area that has a tremendous amount of security, where anyone going in without permission would have to go through 3 very, very deadly security systems of not only electric but gas and all kinds of stuff to even get close to where these other scrolls are laying down there and waiting to be brought out to the light of day, which I don't think that they will be because of the content of what's in those scrolls. The big scroll that is in the Shrine of the Book, which is one that anyone can go in and see, is the really big Isaiah scroll. And this Isaiah scroll is out there for people to see. It's beautiful, and it's the biggest one that they have. However, there are bits and pieces of others. They're only telling us, and they've only said to us, that there was only one copper scroll, and it was a treasure list. It was a treasure list of all these different temple treasures, the menorah and the shewbread table and so forth, that were taken out of the temple before it was burned, the first temple before it was burned, and hidden away here and there. And no one has ever been able to find these treasures yet. Now, they never said that there was more than one copper scroll. And so I found out recently that there was more than one copper scroll. And the second copper scroll, like the first one, was opened too quickly. Copper has to be heated to about 83, 85 degrees in order for it to come open easily. And so the first person opened it in haste, and it cracked open. So they tried to put it back together. They can't. So it's called Copper Scroll number 1 and Copper Scroll number 2. And so in that Copper Scroll, there is a lot of information that the other scrolls do not have. And I said to you that there were over 800 Dead Sea Scrolls that were found.
Is that verifiable?
Is that verifiable? Not by the Israel Antiquities Office. They're going to deny everything I'm saying. Because what I'm saying to you is very secret information. I can't even tell you where I've gotten it. Sorry about that.
How will this help us?
Because you understand much more of what the Bible should have said and didn't say. Especially about you and I as human beings and what the purpose of humanity is on this planet and the extraterrestrial connection and the truth about what happened with Moses, and the Exodus, the truth of what happened with Noah and how the ark got built, the true information about other interesting Bible stories that were not given the light of day, and also about the ET connection.
Do you want to talk about the ET connection?
In relationship to this, or just the ET connection?
What do our space brothers and sisters have to tell us? Who are they? People have very different takes on this all over the world, and I would like to know from an Akashic Record perspective, who are they and what are they?
they look just like you and I.